Hi, it's Rick. When I work on my lathe turning between centers, I have to drive this spur center into the stock. And you don't want to use a metal hammer for this because it'll ruin the end of your taper. So usually what I do is I just put it on the bench and I use another piece of stock to drive the spur center into place. It's pretty inconvenient, and I was thinking it would be nice if I had a mallet to do this with. So when I was at the hardware store today, I picked up a 3/4 inch black pipe tee. You can pick these up at any hardware store. And this is going to be the main component in my new mallet. So using some electronic calipers to get a measurement, I set these calipers to be about a 1/20th of an inch larger than the space between the threads. And I'm going to turn a tab in this about 3/4 of an inch long. Now that I have that, I'll round off some more of this. So because this is about the same size or slightly smaller than the spur drive, I've left this little edge on here. I'll have to cut it off with a saw before I continue. This is going to end up being the part of the mallet, and I'm going to cut into this a little bit so I have an idea where I want it to be. If I had turned this on the tailstock side, I wouldn't have to do this, so I'll make sure that I do that for the next one. I just chamfered the end a little bit with the belt sander. So I wiped down the pipe tee with some mineral spirits to get the grease off it, and I'm going to give it a quick shot of spray paint to help keep it from rusting. Green is the only color I have available, so it's going to be green. So I'm going to put a piece of scrap wood in the vise, so this has something to rest on, and just tighten it enough so it's holding it in place. Then I'll see if I can't force this into the screws so it'll cut its own threads as it goes. And that seems to be working. Probably could have made that section a little smaller. I wanted to make sure that it was strong. This was getting really tough to turn, so I went and got a pipe wrench to help me out. So here it is so far. Now as you saw, this was a bear to screw in there. So I'm going to make the tenon a little shorter on the next one. I'll make it in the same way, only I'll make it at the other end of the lathe, closer to the tailstock. And then I'll make the handle in the same manner. So I'll use a smaller stick because it's longer. And go about it the same way. So here's the mallet so far. And I'm going to do the handle next. This is the blank for the handle. And I'm going to do the handle a little differently. I'm going to get it on the lathe and just cut the tenon in it. Then I'll screw it into the end of the mallet and unscrew it and put it back in the lathe. I'm doing that because I want there to be a full 3/4 inch tenon on it because I want the handle to be strong. I don't want the head to go flying off when I'm using it. In this way, hopefully, after the handle is turned round, I'll be able to screw it in using just my hands. Because if I have to put a wrench on it at that time, it'll mess up the handle. So let's get that done. So here's the finished mallet. Now the beauty of this is, if I wear down or trash one of these wooden faces, I can easily replace it. Or I could put leather on the faces to land a softer blow. I could even spend the extra money and get a brass pipe tee and really class it up. But I think this will do for now. If you like my videos, please subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.